In 27 days, Dutch police made $2.3 million by running a drug marketplace. They didn't arrest anyone. They didn't shut it down. They took over the entire operation, pretended to be the administrators, and watched as 420,000 users unknowingly handed them their home addresses, their real names, and their Bitcoin. This is the story of Operation Bayonet, the most profitable undercover police operation in Darknet history. How do you stop a multi-billion-dollar Darknet economy? You don't shut it down. You take it over. You run it better than the criminals did. And you collect data on every single user while they keep buying and selling like nothing happened. In 2017, the Dutch police did exactly that. They seized control of Hansa, one of the largest darknet markets in the world, and operated it for 27 days without anyone noticing. The results: 27,000 transactions monitored, 420,000 users data collected, 10,000 plus real home addresses obtained, 1,200 Bitcoin seized, worth $2.3 million. But here's the real question. Did any of it actually work? By 2017, darknet markets were processing over $1 billion annually globally. The largest market at the time was Alphabet. It had 200,000 registered users, 40,000 vendors, and processed over $500,000 in daily transactions. That's $182 million per year from just one marketplace. Hansa was smaller, but still significant. And here's the pattern. Every time law enforcement shuts down one market, two more pop up to replace it. Silk Road 2011 to 2013 gets shut down, and Silk Road 2.0 launched 35 days later. Alphabet 2014-2017 gets shut down, and users migrated to Hansa within days. Hansa 2015 to 2017 gets shut down, and new markets rose immediately. This is the fundamental economic reality. Supply meets demand regardless of enforcement. Drug users don't stop wanting drugs because one website goes offline. They just find the next marketplace. The darknet economy operates like any other market. Price, supply, demand, and competition. The only difference is that the products are illegal and the currency is anonymous. So how did Hansa actually make money? Transaction commissions? Every transaction had a fee, typically 2% to 4% of the total sale. With Hansa processing roughly $500,000 per day, that's $10,000 to $20,000 in daily revenue, $3.6 million to $7.3 million annually in pure profit. Vendor listing fees. Hansa also charged vendors to list products. With roughly 1,765 active vendors and 40,000 daily advertisements, listing fees generated significant revenue before a single transaction even happened. The escrow float. This is the most interesting part. When a buyer made a purchase, the Bitcoin didn't go directly to the vendor, it went to Hansa's escrow system. The vendor only got paid once the buyer confirmed receipt. For a market processing $500,000 plus daily, that meant millions in Bitcoin were constantly sitting in Hansa's wallets. Here's the economic opportunity the police understood. While that money sat in escrow, Hansa controlled it. During their takeover, the police held $2.3 million in Bitcoin and decided who got paid and who didn't. The arbitration economy. When buyers and vendors disputed, Hansa's moderator stepped in, but the market controlled the escrow. They could side with either party, effectively deciding who got paid. This gave Hansa enormous leverage over both sides of every transaction. The trust tax. Darknet markets charge higher commissions than legitimate platforms, 2 to 5% versus 1 to 2% for eBay. Why? Because they're solving a problem legitimate platforms don't have: how to facilitate anonymous transactions between strangers who don't trust each other. The escrow system is the answer. That trust is worth 2 to 5% of every transaction, and Hansa collected it on 27,000 transactions during the police takeover alone. When the Dutch police took over Hansa, they weren't just running a sting operation, they were running a business. And like any business, they had to make decisions about revenue, cost, and risk. The revenue side, during their 27 days of control, the police monitored 27,000 transactions. On a 2 to 4% commission, that's roughly $270,000 to $540,000 in fees that flowed through the market. But here's the twist. The police didn't keep the commissions. They couldn't. That would have been theft. Instead, they let the money flow to vendors, maintaining the illusion that nothing had changed. The real revenue was data. 10,000 plus real home addresses obtained, 420,000 user accounts mapped, 64 vendors identified through the Excel spreadsheet trick, 50 plus vendors identified through image metadata. In intelligence terms, that data was worth millions. Each address represented a potential prosecution or informant. The cost side, the police had to keep the market running perfectly. Any downtime, any glitch, any suspicious message, and the entire operation collapses. The team worked around the clock for 27 days. They coded through the night, they slept in shifts. The margin for error was 0. One typo in a command nearly crashed the entire site. One spilled soda nearly destroyed the laptop holding all Hansa data. The risk premium. This is the economic factor that doesn't show up on any balance sheet. Reputational risk. If anyone had discovered the police were running Hansa, the scandal would have been enormous. Law enforcement would have been accused of facilitating drug deals and watching crimes happen in real time. The Dutch police calculated that risk and decided it was worth taking, the ROI. The operation seized 1,200 Bitcoin worth $2.3 million at the time. It identified thousands of criminals. It dealt a serious blow to Darknet trust. But here's the uncomfortable economic truth. Within weeks, new markets rose to replace Hansa and Alphabet. The Darknet economy didn't shrink, it adapted. The police won the battle. But the war and the economics of the war continued. The Dutch police spent 27 days retrofitting Hansa's code. They made it do the exact opposite of what it was designed to do. What they changed. Usernames and passwords were now logged in plain text. Every message was archived before encryption, shipping addresses were recorded, product photos saved with metadata, GPS. Then they got creative. Tactic 1 to server failure. They deleted every image on Hansa and blamed it on a technical glitch. Vendors had to re-upload all their product photos. The new images contained GPS metadata that revealed the locations of over 50 vendors. Tactic 2, the Excel spreadsheet. They sent vendors an Excel file with codes to retrieve their escrow Bitcoin. The file contained the Hansa logo, which loaded from Dutch police servers. The moment someone opened it, the server logged their IP address. This identified another 64 vendors. Tactic 3, the stuffed panda. They sent packages with stuffed pandas to moderator applicants with GPS trackers hidden inside. They hoped recipients would bring them home, revealing their home addresses. Tactic 4, the moderator application. They asked applicants for their home addresses, supposedly to receive two-factor authentication tokens. Some actually sent them. One applicant even joked, "Please don't send the cops to this address." On July 20, 2017, the Dutch police shut down Hansa. The aftermath was immediate. 420,000 users lost access, 1,200 Bitcoin seized, dozens of vendors arrested or identified, 10,000 plus real addresses collected. But new Darknet markets rose within weeks. By 2018, Darknet markets were processing over $2 billion annually. By 2026, that number is estimated to have grown to over $5 billion. The Darknet is an economy, not a crime problem. It has buyers and sellers. It has prices and fees. It has supply chains and customer service. And like any economy, it operates on a simple principle where there's money, there's a market. The Dutch police understood this better than anyone. They didn't just shut down Hansa, they became Hansa. They studied the economics of the invisible internet and they exploited it. Operation Bayonet was a masterclass in economic warfare, but the war is still being fought. And it's not clear who's winning. If this changed how you see the economics of crime and enforcement, subscribe to Economics Files because the numbers don't lie. And neither do we.